Hey there YouTube. Today I'm doing a quick video comparing normal wood shims to these new composite shims that are out there. I'm doing a kitchen remodel right now, and I've been using wood shims for pretty much everything in my entire life. They're simple, they're cheap, and they work. The biggest problem with wooden shims is scoring them and snapping them. So I decided to give these composite shims a shot. They're both made by Nelson, and I just immediately, I want to say I'm biased in this video because I found the composite shims to be a complete pain in the to work with. I thought it was a problem with just the Nelson composite shims, but I did go out and buy, I can't remember what this brand is, I'll put it on the screen. I went out and bought these at Lowe's to try these composite shims, and they have the same problem. So in exchange for the ease of scoring and snapping, you lose the ease of gluing and also the accuracy of the snap. I'll show you what I mean with the accuracy of the snap. I'm going to drop each shim till it is wedged into the vise, and then not touching the vise at all, just try to snap it. Alright, it broke. It left a little bit of remnant there, maybe 1/8 of an inch going down to 32nds of an inch, but there is a remainder there. Let's go, not touching the vise, let's take that piece out. We'll go ahead and drop in the one from Lowe's. Let's break that one. That also left a bit of a remnant. This one left a good 1/8 of an inch there. Now we'll do the wood one. We'll go ahead and score it like you normally would. And we will pull it like this. That was a lot easier. And you'll see this broke perfectly flush with the work surface. So that's breaking them by hand and with a razor blade. So what I've actually been doing is using an oscillating tool to cut these. And this is much quicker, but it's much easier to use an oscillating tool if you use wood shims. So here's plastic. Alright, let's keep trying that. I'm going to tighten down the vise a little more. There we go, make it fair. Alright, there's plastic. Now for wood. Like butter with the wood. And we'll go ahead and give the composite one from Nelson a shot here. Tightening it down to make it fair. Takes a lot longer to cut through the composites, and amazingly, somehow the composites still did not leave a flat work surface. That's just crazy to me. So yeah, you can see how it wasn't very precise how it snapped. Whereas with a wood shim, you just score it more and more times, and it cuts easy. These composite shims, you have to score right on the snap line. So that's kind of annoying. I could probably live with that. The variance is very small. You can kind of just tap them in a little bit more. Not a big deal, but the thing that really sucks about the composite shims is that nothing sticks to it. You have to use a polyurethane glue because the shims themselves are made out of some Actually doesn't say what those have in them on the box. But I can tell you that nothing sticks to it. The only thing that kind of sticks to it is Gorilla Glue. And not normal Gorilla Glue, but the Gorilla Glue that's like twice as much. And it's the polyurethane one that foams up and is incredibly sticky, and you get it all over your hands, and it's very unpleasant. You can't use this Gorilla Glue because this Gorilla Glue doesn't have polyurethane in it. It doesn't stick at all. You have to use this one. It's on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. This actually sticks to it, but it still doesn't stick to that shim anywhere near as well as wood glue sticks to the wooden shims. If you're buying glue for the wooden shims, you can use pretty much any glue, any wood glue, Elmer's glue, whatever, any PVA. So I did a little bit of A/B testing with the wooden shims, some of the Lowe's shims there, and some of the Nelson Composite shims. The easiest shims to work with were the wooden shims. The problem with the composite shims is they're very slippery, and so when you're pushing them, they kind of like to slide off of each other. On these, they're very slick, and it's hard to put them in sideways like this, which is the right way to do it. Wooden shims, it's hard to move them. See, they kind of stick to each other. They have like fibers on them, so they don't slide so easily. It's a heck of a lot easier to shim cabinets with these. So when I was reading, everyone said, well, the great thing about the composite ones is that they are waterproof and they will never soak up water and go up into the cabinet. Well, after having been completely covered in glue, trying to glue in all these cabinet shims, when we removed the cabinets from this kitchen, the cabinets were 40 years old. And guess what they used? Wood shims. And they were in great shape, and they did get wet. But guess what? They still held up the cabinet. Alrighty, now I'm going to do a little real-world overnight testing with the shims, just so I can really test these. I've glued them to my cabinets, and I don't want to disturb them since the countertops are coming in a few days. So I'm just going to do some test pieces here. Put a little bit of wood glue on there. Let's just put these two pieces of shim together. Now we'll put it under this piece of wood here for some weight. Look, I got some glue on the tile here, but with wood glue, it doesn't matter. I can touch this. I'm not going to be super sticky. It literally just rubs off like Elmer's glue. No problem. Now let's glue the other shims. Here are the Nelson Composite shims. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this super sticky polyurethane glue on there. Put that under there to hold it. And again, I got some polyurethane glue right there. And this stuff is stickier than sin, and it's very unpleasant to work with, and I should have put gloves on. I'm also going to try these ones I got from Lowe's. Put a little glue on here. These ones are meant to be snapped this way, so put this up and this up. So I'll put the ridge down here, and we'll put those two together. And we'll put that there. So all these shims have equal weight on them. Let's go ahead and we'll put some wood glue on the cabinet. And we'll put some of this glue on these, and then we'll simulate the cabinet by putting this plywood down on them. And we'll see how everything sticks to each other. Maybe a little weight here. And actually, just for fun, let's put some wood glue on the composite, which will not work, but just fun to see what's going to happen there. Right. Alright, see how this test goes. So, it's the next day, and this has dried overnight. So I'm going to go ahead and take the weight off. Alright, looks like it glued it to the table a little bit, to my tiles. Well, we'll see which one of these glues breaks loose first. Huh, they all held. Oh, well, they almost all held. The composite shim separated from the other composite shim. This was the shim that was glued with the polyurethane glue. Let's see if it sticks to the wood. Whoop! Okay, that was the one with wood glue, I think. Alright, so polyurethane glue. It's sticking enough that I think I would actually trust this. If it wasn't so dang messy. But these don't really glue well to each other. Here's the polyurethane shim that was glued to another polyurethane shim with just wood glue. Yeah, it didn't even dry in there actually. Let's see how this polyurethane shim does to the bottom of the virtual cabinet. And that one separated from the other composite shim that was polyurethane. This one is sticking to the bottom of the quote-unquote cabinet pretty good. So it's strange that it bonded to the wood better than the shim bonds to its own material. Kind of weird. But yeah, these separated like nothing. Now let's try the old-fashioned wood glue. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to break that off. Of course, the wood glue has bonded the two wood shims together perfectly and permanently. Whew. So, for our next test, I'm going to put the wood shim and the composite shim next to each other and simulate scoring and snapping them. So, I'm laying the shims like this, like you're supposed to, with the larger end opposite the larger end so that it's flat. I'm going to go ahead and snap the fake one since I can't find any weight to hold this down. I'm going to have to do it one-handed. So let's go ahead. We'll give this a fair chance. We'll align this straight. Alright, snap. Alright, wiggle it off. We'll snap. So you'll see I snapped it and it left a good 1/4 inch of material there. Not a nice flush break. So if I hadn't glued it yet, I can just kind of push it in a little bit, altering the height of the cabinet slightly, but then it's flush. Now I'm going to score and snap the wood ones. The wood ones, you do have to use a razor blade. You can actually cut it exactly where you need to be cut. Score it. Just keep scoring it. This is really tedious, but it's accurate. I'm scoring it directly where I want it to be scored. Alright, and you'll see much cleaner cut. And here's the profile of the three shims. We have the Nelson Composite, the Nelson Wood, and the off-brand Composite. Notice how much longer the actual wood one is. Gives you much greater flexibility. Notice the wood one is actually thicker at the ends. Nelson Composite shim is about a 1/16 of an inch thinner than the wood shim. The black composite that I got at Lowe's is the same thickness as the wood shim from Nelson. So the other thing to compare obviously is the price. For $2.50 you can get this whole huge thing of wooden shims, and these were like $8 for the composite ones. So yeah, I can't believe I talked that long about shims, but this video didn't exist when I was researching this. It was a lot of people in forums just, composite shims are better, they're newer, don't be cheap, blah 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 blah. I don't know if there's like a shim marketing company out there, but wooden shims would have been the right choice for me in this situation. So yeah, thanks for watching.